Hello again, my fellow students. Welcome to the Charger Report for January 27th, 2017. This week we've got new mics, new dreams, and new stories. Homecoming elections, presidential elections, and All-American basketball, all on the ballot for today's show. I'm William. Let's do it. Who's the who's who from around the school? One of the most notable ways that the cream of the crop rise to the top in BE is through homecoming court. Students nominate, students elect, and students win. It's by the students for the students, right? This year's basketball homecoming nominees roll on to the online ballot, ready as ever to be voted on by any student. But do they? Students are increasingly complaining about homecoming, with one tweet by junior Sydney Rames claiming it's one huge popularity contest that has the same nominees every time. The tweet went on to receive 15 retweets and 38 likes, indicating that this isn't exactly an uncommon opinion. There is no denying it, though. Every year, twice a year, the same names pop up over and over again on homecoming court. Students propose this is due to only the same small groups of kids even bothering to vote every year. But there was a black sheep this time around. Junior David Vinson was, to his detest, nominated for the junior position. This is due to a Twitter campaign of sorts run by his friends in an attempt to give the crown to the coolest kid you've never heard of. In the end, the votes were tallied and the winners were, for the freshmen, Riley Ortega and Noah Presley, sophomores, Kimber Barr and Reese Watson, juniors, Kathleen Scott and Luke Ezel, and the seniors, though, are still to be announced, so stay tuned for updates. President-elect Donald Trump was finally upgraded to President Donald Trump as of last Friday. Students all around the country halted their everyday activities to watch live the inauguration of the 45th president with varying enthusiasm. Here at Bullitt East, things were no different, with rooms erupting with cheers, jeers, and even laughter as the most powerful position in the country shifted hands. The inauguration speech itself was met with mixed reception. People in the pro-Trump camp saw it as reassuring and a sign of good times to come, while those unsure about Trump saw it as a frighteningly nationalistic message. Social media was set ablaze with the quote, "and give it back to you, the people," which was also said in a speech by Becn, the enemy of Batman from the 2012 film The Dark Knight Rises. Overall, though, people agreed that the speech was very polarizing, with no real attempt to unify the country under its new leadership. This lack of unification led to a large amount of protests and general discontent from citizens after the inauguration, the most prominent of which being the Women's March. Women from all over the world took to the streets to demonstrate their displeasure with the current state of affairs. The turnouts were huge, with the movement becoming the largest inaugural protest in only a few days. President Trump responded uncharacteristically, claiming that he's happy to see Americans exercising their First Amendment rights, even if he happens to not agree with what they're exercising them for. Around the school, opinions spread like wildfire. Despite living in an overwhelmingly conservative area, many children expressed support for the protests and displeasure with Trump. Others, though, condemned the protests, accusing them of being without motivation and just being menial complaints. Regardless of your stance, President Trump has taken office for the time being. Regardless of anything, make your feelings known. The government is here to serve you, the citizens, and it's your job to make what you expect from it known, whether positive or negative. Now let's go from Big Lee to Big League with the Red Zone Sports Report.
I'm Jared. And I'm Matthew, and this is your Red Zone Sports Report. There were numerous newsworthy Charger sports moments last week. The boys basketball team, girls basketball team, and archery team were very busy. First of all, the boys routed the Manual Crimson on Tuesday night, 79-46. Then they traveled to Meade County on Friday night to blow out the Green Wave, 77-57. Next, the Lady Chargers picked up two impressive victories last weekend against St. Joseph, West Virginia, and Mason County. And forward, Kirsty Henn committed to play basketball at Kentucky Wesleyan College. Coach Stallings' squad is now 18-4 on the season as they look to be state-bound. And last but not least, the archery team had a meet at Bernheim Middle School over the weekend. The team shot their way to third place.
The Bullet East Lady Chargers took on Mercy Academy Tuesday night. These two teams are big rivals in their region. In previous meetings, these games have always been exciting and close. The Lady Chargers and the Lady Jaguars battled straight out of the gate. When the first quarter came to an end, the score was 19-17 in favor of our Lady Chargers. After another quarter of battling and some horrible officiating, Mercy would take a 34-29 lead into halftime. Senior guard Lindsay Duvall, a Louisville signee, turned on the gas in the second half, scoring 15 of her 26 points and rallied Bullet East to a 70-66 win over rival Mercy. Duvall finished the game with 26 points, and according to Curio Journal sports analysis Jason Frakes, Lindsay Duvall has played like a top Miss basketball candidate down the stretch. The Lady Chargers pick up another big win and hope to continue the strong season they have so far.
3 players were inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame this past week. The 3 players were Jeff Bagwell, Tim Raines, and Yvonne Rodriguez. Selected sports writers vote on the players that have been retired for at least 5 seasons. In order to be inducted, players must receive at least 75% of the vote. Jeff Bagwell received 86.2%, Tim Raines received 86%, and Yvonne Rodriguez received 76%. Bagwell was a 4-time All-Star that hit 449 home runs in his 15-year career with the Astros. He also won 3 Silver Slugger Awards and a Gold Glove as a first baseman. Tim "The Rock" Raines was an All-Star for 7 consecutive seasons. He also won a Silver Slugger Award and has the 5th most stolen bases in Major League history. Yvonne "Pudge" Rodriguez was a 14-time All-Star who won 13 Gold Gloves and 7 Silver Slugger Awards. Pudge also appeared in the most games as a catcher in Major League history and the most number of career putouts as a catcher.
Spring is right around the corner, and so is baseball season. The baseball team is training hard to set up their game to get them back to their state championship run that has been eluding them since last year's loss in the 2016 state semifinal. They've had field practice from the fall to the winter and are now in their conditioning phase. This time is always the roughest for the players, as the conditioning pushes them to their physical limits. Connor Wells asked sophomore Harrison Verb on how it affected him. He said, "This conditioning and period of time is definitely rough, but at the end of the day, it helps all of us and makes us better baseball players in the end. These players certainly work for their goals, and it shows in the things they accomplish. This year, they are more determined than ever to get back to the state tournament and take the state championship title. Best of luck to them in the upcoming season, and thanks to Connor Wells for his story." Now back to Brooke and William.
Well, I, for one, can't wait for the influx of baseball news. Now let's pitch it to Kyle and Justin with Plugged In.
The infamous Gabe Newell held a Reddit AMA last week and had a few interesting things to say. Of course, someone had to ask about Half-Life 3, to which Gabe responded with, "The number 3 must not be said." With this very mysterious, some took it as a good sign that Half-Life 3 is confirmed, while others thought it was just a way of getting out of the question. Gabe also voiced his regret with the original Half-Life, saying, "The issue of Half-Life, for me, is that I was involved in a much higher percentage of the decision about the game. So it's hard for me to look at them as anything other than a series of things I regret." Gabe was also asked about the Source 2 engine, Half-Life, and Portal movies, and the HTC Vive, all of which he more or less confirmed.
Talking about it again, boys and girls, Nintendo Switch. Ever since the conference last Thursday, information and speculation have been blown out at an unprecedented level. The Switch was announced to release March 3rd, to the surprise of most speculators who expected it released later in the month. Also to the surprise of speculators, the console was set to retail at $300 at launch, $50 over the supposed leaked cost of $250. The Switch is also to be Nintendo's first console to require a subscription to play online games. While many are upset by this news, others are happy to pay the price if it means a better quality online experience. Many of the functions of the online, such as voice chat and lobbies, are said to be handled through a mobile phone app. Now, let's get to the real good part, the games. The highly anticipated Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild is to launch alongside the console on March 3rd for both the Switch and the Wii U. Super Mario Odyssey, the next installment in the prestigious Mario platforming series, was announced for the holiday season of 2017. The game follows Mario as he travels to a variety of different locations from around the world, including a period of New York City titled New Donk City. The game is set to return to the sandbox gameplay style of Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, with large open levels with multiple objectives.
Bad news if you're still using the original iPhone years after its release. AT&T told the world last week that it would not be supporting the original iPhones anymore. It will be shutting down their 3G service in space for more advanced services such as 5G. This will allow broader access to these advanced services while eliminating unused services. And movie news, on January 25th, the past Monday, Lucasfilms and Disney released the official title for its upcoming 8th sequel in the Star Wars Skywalker saga, commonly referred to as Episode 8. The new movie is officially titled The Last Jedi, which probably, maybe, hopefully, refers to Luke Skywalker. Now that the title has been revealed, a teaser trailer can't be far off, so stay tuned.
PETA blasts and boycotts film A Dog's Purpose after a video leaked showing a terrified German Shepherd forced into water. On January 18th, a boycott was called, postponing the release date of the movie. Author and director of the film stated, "I've done more investigating and also had more conversations with PETA. Whoever was in control of the set should have told them to stop. But the dog was not in danger, and the dog was and is okay. The problem was stated to be that the dog wasn't used to doing the stunt in that area, and once allowed to return to the other end of the pool, the dog happily did the stunt." Well, that's all for this segment. Thanks for being plugged in. Now back to Will and Brooke.
That movie didn't look very good anyway. Regardless, this has been the Charger Report, and I've been William. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.